Okay, Fischer projections. Okay, so for the two compounds here, lab report due, carbonation lab report due, when you come to lab this week, yeah? Okay. So two compounds here. Up here, maximum number of isomers is 4. We have 2 stereogenic sites. There was 4. All right. There were 2 DL pairs. We didn't give any terminology. When high priority groups are on the same side of the Fischer projection, it's called 3O. And when Fischer projection, when high priority groups are on opposite sides in the Fischer projection, it's called erythro. Not sure what we drew last time for this. Let's go back here a little bit. What was the first perspective we drew here? Was it bolded?
Yeah.
And the other one was
Bolded.
also bolded. Chlorine. Okay, if you want to do this in a Fischer, and we'll do it again. Yeah, we'll repeat. Okay. Fischer. What do we got here? We got 2 chiral carbons, so we need 2 fish hairs. 2 crosshairs. Chiral carbon, chiral carbon. These are methyls on the end. I often denote them as NE, methyl, just for clarification. Okay, methyls at top and bottom. And we can do that. In the next example down the road, we'll rotate. Don't need to rotate this one. You can have the ground be here or here. If the ground is here, the chlorine is closer to the ground. If the ground is over here, the OH is closer to the ground. I'm going to do it over here, just because it's easier for me. You can do it either way, because there's no directions in the given that says the chlorine has to be up or down. Okay? I'm going to come over here. And I'm going to act like I'm standing on the ground, because that's where you stand. And I'm looking through here. Why am I want to be over here? Because from this side here, if I'm over here, the methyl is going away. Right? We can also make a model of this. Alkyl is black in the plane. OH is forward. Hey, this is the right one. OH is blue forward, chlorine green coming forward. It's like that though. See the black, zoop, 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 zoop. Okay. I'm looking at this carbon. I want to look at it with the methyl going away. So where do I stand? If I stood over here, the methyl would be coming towards me. I want to stand over there. If I'm over here, the methyl's going away. Everybody agree? If I'm over here, the methyl's going away. What side's the OH on? It's coming towards you. If I'm over here, that's to my left. With the methyl going away, the OH is on the left. With the methyl going away, the OH is on the left. Because in the Fischer, things at top and bottom are implied to be going away. Okay? Now by default, what's on my right? Well, it's this little tiny H that's here that's going back. And in Fischer, we draw in the H's. Okay? By the way, this is with it like that. Methyl going away. Now, let's look at the bottom carbon. With the methyl going away, because that's what that means. Methyl going away, and I'm going to draw it like that. With the methyl going away, what side is the chlorine on? Well, hold on, the methyl's coming towards me. Your book will say, well, turn it. Now it's going away. I wouldn't do that. I would just walk over here. With the methyl going away, what side's the chlorine on? Right, it's going towards you guys. With the methyl going away, the chlorine's on the right. I'm drawing H's over here. It's the other thing going the other way. So what I did is I looked there, but when looking at here, I came over here, feet on the ground. I guarantee you at some point later on, someone's going to have your feet in the air. Don't do that. Ground is here. Chlorine's closer to the ground. I'm looking through here. Why? Because the methyl is going away. With the methyl going away, the chlorine is bolded. It's coming off the board towards you. If I'm over here, the chlorine's to the right. Methyl going away, chlorine to the right. Methyl going away, chlorine to the right. These are the same thing. Okay. You can do this all four. Here we go. Terminology. On each carbon we have, what's the high priority group? OH or H?
OH.
H or chlorine?
Chlorine.
When the high priority groups are on opposite sides in the Fischer projection, you can call it what? A rethrow.
Wait. I thought
It's right above in the paragraph that says completely wrong.
I'm sorry. Sometimes I just don't think. How do you remember this? How should I remember this? It's 3O. How do you remember that? I remember it like this, because if you draw a vertical line, if you draw an E, capital E, everything's on the same side. All lines are on this. Okay? But if you draw a vertical line and draw a T, how do you make a T? One thing over there, and the other thing over here, and you get a T. So with an E, but you got to keep in mind, this is opposite, this is actually opposite from EZ terminology. What does E mean in EZ?
Opposite.
E means opposite because they're both vowels. Because what does Z mean?
same
It's the same side. So don't confuse E here. E actually doesn't mean opposite here. Here, E, I remember E is a rethrow, and when you do a capital E, everything is over to the same side. You get how I remember it? A rethrow. This is 3O because they're opposite like the T. Okay? Now you can go through Fischer's. I'm not going to take time to go through again completely. We need to move on. But if this chlorine was dashed, that means with the methyl going the way, the chlorine would be on the left. And if the chlorine was over here, that would be your Fischer. But the OH and chlorine would be on the same side, and that would be a rethrow. Okay? Now, rethrow and 3O are diastereomers. It's hard to start in one lecture and begin another without having to repeat everything. We just don't have time. We'll move ahead. Ultimately, you could draw 4 different perspectives of that compound and 4 different Fischers. You'll have 2 DL pairs. But down here, while you can draw 4 perspectives and you can draw 4 Fischers, actually 2 of them are the same. What 2 are the same? I think we drew them. We had we drew that, and then we also drew, I may have these back switched, but they were both like this. Those are mirroring each other. Yes, they are mirror images, but are they the same or different? We had this last time at the end. Okay? These are actually the same. First off, are they a rethrow or 3O? A rethrow. But in this case, we don't call them a rethrow. They get a more specialized name. Because, what do you see here? I see a plane of symmetry. Yes, trust that. This is mirroring this. Very simple. There's no tricks here. Since it has a plane of symmetry, what do we know about the mirror image? It's the same thing. Something with a plane of symmetry, the mirror image is the same thing. So, are those 2 different compounds? No, it's actually the same compound. And what do we thus call this compound?
Meso.
You could maybe say it's a rethrow, but instead of a rethrow, we're going to talk meso. That's the more proper name. It's a more specific name, a more meaningful question.
How do you determine which, like for example for this one, we had methyls on the top and the bottom, right? So in the case that like, instead of methyls we had like, let's say, like another, like some kind of other like atom, how do you determine which was on the top and bottom?
Typically alkyl groups on top and bottom in Fischer.
Okay.
Or the directions that you're given. For example, if one alkyl group is a methyl and the other is an ethyl, butyl, maybe the direction says draw it with the butyl at the top and the methyl at the bottom. Then guess what? You would draw it with the butyl at the top and the methyl at the bottom.
Okay.
I haven't given any specific directions like that here.
Right.
Mainly because a methyl is a methyl. And I'm putting alkyls at top and bottom. We will rotate going forward. We'll do more. Meso. Okay, so down here there's actually only 3. We did not have max. Have less than max, and 2 DL pairs, and then we had a meso compound. That's one of the main things. Let's move forward. We'll draw some more. Okay. On the warm-up page, we will draw some, and we will rotate. And I'll start telling you some tricks. Okay, some statements to read up there. We mentioned that. Okay, some alkenes can be stereogenic. Let's put this to work. How do we do here? How many carbons does the following drug have? Anybody? Carbons? You've all done this, right? Because it's at some point showtime, right? Anybody do any acting or plays or anything? You rehearse and then it's showtime, right? And if showtime comes and you're going to get kicked off the stage. You don't belong on the stage. It's showtime. How many carbons? 3. How many? I heard a 3. That's all I heard. I'm going to have carbon here, 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 here. And anywhere else? Those are all carbons, right? Any others? How about that one there? No, it's got 2 methyls on there. Did I get it right? So it's more than 3. 5? Anybody get 5? Did I miss any?
Carbonyl group.
Where?
The carbonyl group up top.
Right here?
Yes, sir.
Carbonyl group is sp2, trigonal planar. A planar atom has a plane right through it. Something with a plane.
What's the one up to the left, the carbonyl?
Right here? It's got 2 H's on it. If it's not indicated there, every other atom has symmetry. You can cut right through it. We made a good statement last time. Things are symmetrical unless they're not. When are they not? Tetrahedral carbon 14 things attached. That's when it's not. That's got 2 H's on it. One's forward, one's back and one's forward. But they're like this, they're eclipsed. I can't draw that. Okay, if I draw that on the board, they're going to be on top of each other. You have to prove that. Okay, I see 5, I think. Okay. How many stereogenic centers does it contain? Well, at least 5, because we've got 5 there. But are there any others? Yes, this alkene is stereogenic, and this alkene is stereogenic. Yeah? Any other alkene stereogenic? What about the alkenes and the benzene ring, which are really not alkenes, but there are carbon-carbon double bonds. I mean, that right there is cis. Can that double bond be trans?
No.
Not in the ring, it can't be. And the statement was made somewhere. It has to be a big ring to be able to have a trans double bond in a ring. Okay? But again, all these answers are there because we defined the carbons. And I gave you the information about ring if we haven't had it already. I see how many stereogenic sites? 7. Okay, I think that's 5, and I think that's 7. How many total stereoisomers? 2 to the n. Well, what's 2 to the 7? I haven't had math in a long time, but I think it's 128. Is it 128? I'll trust you. Okay? He said it's 128. You can do simple math. 2 to the 7. 128. Okay. Draw them all. Each one. That's more than 2 or 4, right? 128. What would 1 look like? 1 would be where every carbon is R, and both stereogenic alkenes are trans. That would be 1. 128 variations. That's what the math tells us, and yeah. Okay, I'm not going to ask you to draw all 128. Okay. It may be that only one of those 128 is the active drug. All 128 have the same exact name, they only differ by some stereochemical descriptor. For example, one of them you would call, in front of the name, you would say R, trans, trans. That would be one of them. Okay? All right. Definition of diastereomers, we've already said that. Stereoisomers that are not mirror images, such as erythro and threo. Because if this was threo and I said, okay, draw an erythro of this, what would that look like? Would that be erythro? Yeah, that would be erythro. Okay, what's the relationship between these two? Are they stereoisomers? Yes, they have the same exact name. This carbon has an OH, that carbon has an OH, this carbon has a chlorine, that carbon has a chlorine, same exact name. How can you distinguish them? Right here, you call one threo and one erythro. There are other ways. Are those mirror images? No. The mirror image of this would have chlorine here and OH here. They're not mirror images, so what's the relationship? Diastereomers. Erythro and threo are diastereomers. Okay? I've already told you that, because when we looked at over here, types of diastereomers, cis, trans, erythro, and threo. Those are types of diastereomers. Everything's here, guys. I'm kind of joking here. Nobody in here, I expect to remember that. That I had showed you that, and we talked about that. I'm reminding you, though, that, hey, it's written right here. I tried to clarify it. Probably I said we'll see it later. We're seeing it now. I'm showing you where it's written in your notes. Okay? Question?
Does that mean that 2 enantiomers with both the threo or both the erythro?
Yes, that's right. What is the enantiomer of threo? Yeah, it's threo. And enantiomer of erythro is erythro, and you would have 2 VL pairs, and that's what you have for that first one back over there on that other page. Okay. Definition of diastereomers. Diastereomers can have very different properties. These two, threo and erythro, these have very different properties. Those things are configured differently. Mirror images have the same configuration, just opposite. Diastereomers don't have the same configuration. but they are stereoisomers. They have the same connectivity. Okay, epimers. An epimer is a diastereomer. They're diastereomers, but their stereoisomers are different by having only one center reverse. Multiple are present. Epimers. And we can turn back to the back of the other handout, I believe. And we can look at back here. This page here. Carbohydrates. When you get to biochemistry, you'll learn carbohydrates. And you'll be expected to draw Fischer projections and understand them. Now we show carbohydrates. Okay. 3 carbons total, 4 carbons total, 6 carbohydrates. The most common one being glucose, a 6 carbon carbohydrate. Okay. But glucose has 4 carbons. And so we got 4 crosshairs, yeah? Not just 2 like over there. 4 carbons. And you may have never heard of these others. What's the relationship between, let me just choose 2, these first 2. What's the relationship between them? First off, they're all stereoisomers. What's the relationship between these 2? Okay, Fischer. If you switch one group to the other side, you're going from R to S. Okay? Look at this one. All OH is over here. What's the difference? Right here. Everybody agree that that's the same, these 3 are the same, but we switch that one from whatever that is. If that's R, we switch it to S or vice versa. Everybody agree? We only switched one when they were multiple. What's the relationship here? These are epimers of each other. That's a specific term. More broadly, what is the relationship? They're diastereomers. Because, are they stereoisomers?
Yes.
They are. Are they mirror images? No, the mirror images of 4 OHs over here would be 4 OHs over here. They're not. Stereoisomers that are not mirror images, they're diastereomers. But, more specifically, since only one thing has changed, what type of diastereomer is it? It's a epimer. Yes. Now you can also call this, I believe, I can't remember carbohydrate chemistry, I think it's called C2. And since the change occurred at C2, we call these C2 epimers. And when you hear C2 epimer, it says, huh, they must be identical other than a change at C2. So now we have terminology to describe them. Does it say C2 anywhere? Yeah. Are they C2 epimers? I think that's C2, but the carbonyl is probably C1. Okay. Well, let's bring in glucose. What's the relationship between maltose and glucose? That's different. And that's different, right? That's been switched and that's been switched, but these are the same? Okay. So what are these epimers? No, those are not epimers. But they are diastereomers. And all of those are diastereomers because none of these are enantiomers of each other. These are all diastereomers. Some of them are epimers, some of them are not. Okay? So, you'll see Fischers when you get to biochem, when you draw carbohydrates. And please know what an epimer is. Okay? Then you can start classifying your carbohydrates. Are they epimers of each other or not? What does that mean? All right? Okay. Whenever we do D and L, it's little d and L. Capital D and L means something different. And we're not going to go over what it is. It's more historical. You can look it up. Where does the terms erythro and threo come from? Actually, right here. Your 4-carbon sugars. 2 carbons. When both OHs are on the right, it's called erythros. And when the OHs are on opposite side of the Fischer, it's called trios. Based on that, the term erythro and trio became more commonly applied in other situations where groups were either on the same side or opposite. Which is this, which is not a carbohydrate, but we can still use these terms. Okay, there may be some other information here that's of interest, that's relevant. But that's ephemeres, carbohydrates. Bold here, I think we've already covered. What's an enantiomer of a compound that's RRSR? SSRS, because when you look at the mirror, everything is switched, right? What would be a diastereomer of that? Manning. RRSS would be a diastereomer. It would also be a what? It would also be an ephemer because we only changed one thing. Okay? This only has one enantiomer. The enantiomer is where everything's switched. If not everything is switched, that means it's not a mirror image. And if it's not a mirror image, it's a diastereomer. Diastereomer to me means default. Okay? It's a stereoisomer that is not a mirror image. All right? Hopefully you're getting it, yeah? Miso, we've already covered that. Finding Waldo. Let's look at the next page. I mean the other handout. Ultimately, how do you tell if the compound is chiral? Plane of symmetry. Questions above. I'm going to start right here. Any questions for the ones above, though, before we start right here? Questions on the ones above? I know you've had this handout for a couple of weeks now. You're looking at these. Any questions about the ones above? Okay, let's start here. Finding Waldo. Compound here. Chiral, achiral, or meso? Ultimately, how do you answer chiral or achiral? Plane symmetry. Recognizing a chiral carbon can help you ultimately recognize a plane of symmetry because it has a chiral carbon. That's no symmetry. Like a symmetry. All right. Let's maybe skip to the next one. It might be easier. Chiral, achiral, meso. What do you see there? See the plane of symmetry? I agree that's a plane. The top half is the same as the bottom half, and it's mirroring. It's not the same, it's a mirror. It's a mirror plane. And by the way, we said a compound, if it has a mirror plane, it's non-chiral. There's a couple other things that if it has, it's also non-chiral, but I'm not going to open up those cans of worms. So I'm just saying plane of symmetry. So I think the Klein book maybe addresses it, but it's sort of a little bit beyond us a little bit. Okay. What's the answer here? It's actually meso. What's the difference between meso and achiral? Both are achiral, but what does meso mean? Meso means it's not chiral, even though it has chiral carbons. Does this compound have chiral carbons? Yes, it has two. Both of those carbons are chiral. But the compound as a whole is not. Because it has a plane of symmetry. And that's what a meso compound is. All right? Come back over here. Does this have chiral carbons? Yes. Does it have a plane of symmetry? Okay, obviously that's not a plane of symmetry. Two bromines over there, they ain't two over here. But is this? No, because bromine going back would have you would have to have another bromine going back for them to mirror. One back and one here, they're not mirroring. That is not a plane of symmetry. It really doesn't matter if these are chiral or not. If they were not chiral, then you would not be getting the answer you're getting. But really, the answer we get is there's no plane of symmetry. Since there's no plane of symmetry, what type of molecule is this? It's chiral. What does that mean to you? That means that the mirror image would be a different color. Two hands. Okay? All right, I'm trying to pull it together, reviewing what would the mirror image of that look like. I could draw it mirroring, but I could also draw it like this. Are these mirror images?
Yes.
Yes. They are. Because if you keep the backbone straight, they're the same, and just switch your projections, you will get the mirror image. Are these two the same or different? Well, since we called it chiral, that means the mirror image is different. Will those superimpose? They should not. Those two are just like these two. They're mirror images. You will not be able to superimpose them. I'm not going to show you that every time, but this is the lingo. The lingo. Let's do R and S real quick. Okay? Top is an RS. Bromine's 1. Carbon with bromine will be 2. Carbon with no bromine will be 3. And then what's the fourth group? H, and it's coming forward. 1, 2, 3 is clockwise, but the low priority group is coming forward. So this is F. Clockwise, it's S, correct? Okay? I agree. I have thought about it. Check. Yes. Okay. S. What's the bottom one? RS. Very quick. What's the bottom one? Very quick. It's also S. I'll tell you how I know that in a minute. What is it? Let's do over here. What is the top one? Well, it's got to be opposite of this one. If this is S, that's R. How about the bottom one? Well, if that's S, this is the same. Those are right. I'm 99% sure. I would like maybe a couple minutes to confirm, but I think it's right. Okay, here we go. All right, here's your trick. Everybody agree that's a mirror plane? What's the mirror of R? S. That's your trick. Is there a mirror plane here? No. Well, I knew it couldn't be R, because if that was R, they would be mirroring each other. That's why I know it had to be S. Because they're identical. It's a carbon with a bromine in the rest of the ring, a carbon with a bromine in the rest of the ring. If one is S and one is R, identical but switched, that's mirroring. But we said there's no mirror here. There's your little trick. Okay? The mirror of R is S. There's a mirror plane here. Okay, yeah? All right, finding Waldo. What's your answer here? Chiral. And we have 2 chiral carbons. And is that a plane of symmetry? No. Not with one being chlorine and one being bromine. It's only when they're the same, right? There's no plane of symmetry. Ah, okay. How about this over here? Now we can practice our Fischer's more. Or do you want to just do it as is? I recommend let's put it in the Fischer. That's part of the power of Fischer. Does somebody already have an answer though? Carl or Carl? I don't have an answer. I'm going to have to do it in the Fischer. let's draw it in a Fischer. And I'm going to put the ground over here because that's just kind of what I commonly do. Kind of over this side. 2 carbons. Everybody agree? You got to first recognize that. Okay? Hold on. Methyl at top, chlorine at top. Here we go. The thing going away. I stand here. What's going away from me from the carbon? Chlorine. With the chlorine going away, what side is this methyl on? Chlorine going away, the methyl's going behind the board. I'm over here with chlorine going away, the methyl's on the right. With the chlorine going away, the methyl's on the right. There's an undrawn H here, it must be coming the other side. Okay. See, the things in the plane, you can go straight away. With this chlorine going away, what side is the methyl on? But it's coming towards you. Yeah, I need to come over here. Because only when I'm over here is the chlorine going away. The chlorine going away, the methyl is coming towards you, it's on the right. With the chlorine going away, methyl's on the right. The chlorine going away, methyl's on the right. Under on H here. Now, what do you see now? A plane of symmetry. We don't even have to, you see? It's so much easier to see planes of symmetry when you draw Fischer projections and other things. Since we found a plane of symmetry, what's the answer here? It's actually meso. Why not just say chiral? It does have chiral carbons, and so it's a special type. Compound with chiral carbons, yet it's not chiral, it's whole. Will this compound rotate pp leg? No. A chiral compound. Okay, guys, we'll keep going. You can do the other 2. And then we have some other types to look at. Trying to find Waldo, plane symmetry. Look at the ones at the top, too.
I don't know. I've done it. I already listened to this one time, but I'm going to